What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be discussing a very, very serious issue in the NFL right now, and it all starts off because of what happened last week. Now, OBJ, we all know about OBJ, bro. He's injured. He's out for the season. We know that, you know, in some people's eyes, he may be considered a prima donna, stuff like that, but you can't knock the man's talent, right? The way he shows his emotions on the sidelines, you know, he did have a fight with the kicking net. The kicking net beat him. Then he came back and you know, he engaged him. You know, he got engaged to the kicking net, stuff like that. Those type of things that he have. He's been on the sidelines numerous times, just raging uncontrollably and doing things that people may view as negative for the game. Now, Tom Brady, on the other hand, last week he went wild on his offensive coordinator. Okay. It appeared that, you know, Joh McDaniels told him, like, yo, look, you missed a wide open pass. And, you know, he started to let him know, got in his ear a little bit. And Tom Brady, you know, just had to let him know, like, listen, bro, you know what it is? This is a situation. I'm going to get to the point where, you know, for who I agree with and what's going on. But I'm going to say this, right? Tom Brady's a 5-time Super Bowl champion, right? And, you know, you would assume that he knows that he did it and he's already upset with himself for doing it. So it might not be necessary for, you know, Joh McDaniels to have to tell him that he did it, because that's only going to make him more upset. You see what I'm saying? But it's also not right for Tom Brady to go off on him like that. You see, because if what OBJ, I can't really compare the two because OBJ hasn't really won anything yet. He's an outstanding player. He has great numbers over his, you know, first whatever amount of seasons. Obviously, he's made it, you know, pretty good for himself after making that catch on that bum Brandon Carr. He's made a lot out of that one-handed catch. But other than that, he hasn't really won anything on the field. And as we know, the tolerance is higher for people that perform. Not to say that OBJ is not a performer. It's just the fact that he hasn't really done anything to where it's like, all right, this guy has a Super Bowl, he has this, he has that. He's just right now a really, really great player, one of the best wide receivers in the league. With Tom Brady, he's already seen it. He's already done it. He's already gone through a lot of these things. And that mental preparation and that mental edge, I don't think he has to be reminded that he missed the pass. And I think that the reason behind, I think he just, you know, I think he was just so upset that he actually missed the wide open pass. I think Joh McDaniels was trying to tell him that he missed somebody else that was wide open, pretty much by the way that you were looking at it, because you saw after they went through that wild rage, they were both sitting next to each other and going over everything afterwards. So obviously it wasn't any kind of bad blood that continued throughout the game. Or maybe they're just good actors. But Tom Brady doesn't frequently do it. OBJ, every week when he plays, it's sort of like something else is going on, whether it's his celebration, something like, it's a lot of things that comes with it, but that's his brand, okay? He's not going to get away with the same things that Tom Brady gets away with because, number one, again, Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowls. How many does OBJ have? Tom Brady is 40 years old, playing at an MVP level. OBJ is injured. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no correlation between the two when it comes to greatness. Now, OBJ may strive and want to be great when it's all said and done, but right now he's not in the conversation with Tom Brady, which means the thing about it is the way that they show their competitive fire and stuff like that. I think it was wrong the way he, you know, attacked Joh McDaniels. I think it was wrong because regardless of him saying his ridiculousness, he's still a coach. You know what I'm saying? I've coached, and if any of my athletes would go wild on me, like, it wasn't going to happen. Like, it just didn't work out. And these are grown men. Whole different thing. You see what I'm saying? But again, it's Tom Brady. Think about Adrian Peterson with Sean Payton. He gave him the death stare. He's yelling at him. And then I made the podcast right here on this channel. I was like, yo, listen, Sean Payton getting rid of that boy. Everybody was like, no way. It was over. So, no. It's certain things you can't do, right? Depending on how good you are. Now, if that's Adrian Peterson 10 years ago, he probably gets away with it. But Adrian Peterson is a bum right now. Like, look, when you look at the competitive nature and the way that people do stuff, even look at that grunt play where he put the elbow in the dude's neck. That's not competitive fire, bro. That's just lashing out and being wild. And that's what I think happened with Tom Brady. I think he just snapped. I think it's just like, yo, bro, Joh McDaniels, you went to the Denver Broncos to be a coach. They fired you, bro. You're not in a position to tell me anything. I made you. That's probably what's going through Tom Brady's head. And I understand that that's not the way to think, but let's be honest. we all, you know, at some point, if somebody pushes us the wrong way, we don't think in our right minds. Now, if T.O. did it, it would still be viewed. If T.O. did the same thing that Tom Brady did, it would be viewed as very, very negative. But again, I can understand it because what has he won? T.O. didn't win the championship. And I'm not saying that you have to win the championship to just go out there and just be a complete moron to your coaches, but I'm saying that you have to actually put in a lot of work and have some kind of, you know, cachet to be able to do these things. You can't just go out there and be doing it. That's what my issue is with OBJ. It's sort of like he's putting himself on a certain level that he hasn't gotten to yet. That's what, because look, if he wasn't injured right now and he was still actively playing and the Giants were in 2-10 or whatever kind of ridiculous record they are, we would view it differently. But we can't view it any other way because the dude is 2-10 and he's hurt, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're such a good player, it has to show with your team. That's why a lot of people give arguments to other great players. Like, at what point, if you're that good, at what point do you make your teammates better? That's the whole situation. So I don't really think, you know, people are going to make different arguments about why it could possibly be a double standard, but I don't really view it that way. And now, look, I'm pretty sure a lot of people hate Tom Brady. A lot of people are going to be leaving comments like, you know, I don't give a F about Tom Brady, F this. If you look at it objectively and you look at this man's accomplishments and you understand and appreciate a hustle to where you fight every day to no end and you finally get what you've been looking for, that's Tom Brady. This man came into the league. Nobody thought that this would happen for him. You don't think he's going to have some type of edge, some type of, you know, fire that's always going to be in his belly to go? Some of us lose it. Some of us is like, you know what, I got what I want, I'm done. Most of us don't. We continue to fight every day like we could lose it. That's the difference between champions and guys that just want to just come out and just say, yo, you know what, I play in the NFL. That's the difference. There is nothing else that you can, you know, like, if you planned your life and to go from, you know, not being known to what Tom Brady became in the NFL, you can't plan it any better if that's what your dream was. So, of course, he's going to have this edge with him. But I think he's earned the right to be able to challenge a coach, not like that and berate him. See, that would he made Joh McDaniels know, look, bro, you're only here because, you know, I welcomed you back. Like, nobody comes back to this place. You know what I'm saying? When you leave Bill Belichick, nobody comes back. So you came back here because you were a loser and I had, you know, pity on you. That's pretty much why Tom Brady, like, look, it sounds like it's very obnoxious, but that's what probably was going on in his head. Like, who is this guy? This guy is not a good coach. Like, what are you doing? So I'm not saying that gives him the right to do it. See, the way that he handled it, it still looks negative. But I'm just saying, Tom Brady is not going to get the same backlash in the eyes of the public because he's actually won. Not that it's right. It's just viewed differently. So you can have different types of competitive fire, but if you don't have anything to show for it, it doesn't matter. There's no player that's running around that hasn't won anything that would get away with this. This is a very, very small circle. Like, if Drew Brees wanted to do it, you know what I'm saying? Big Ben is a bum right now, but in his prime when he was playing very, very well, if he wanted to do it, it's certain players that can get away with it. But if Jerry Rice never did this and acted the way OBJ does, and he has those Super Bowls, he has, what, 3? OBJ is never going to get away with it, regardless of what he does. That's my mindset. You're talking about the greatest quarterback ever to play the game and a receiver that believes that he's the greatest receiver to play the game. You see what I'm saying? One is fact. One, we don't know if it will ever actually happen, especially with all the debacle that's going on with the New York Giants right now. So that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not defending Tom Brady's actions. What I'm saying is we have to understand that it is going to be viewed differently in the public based on public opinion and what the accomplishments are of the athletes that we're talking about. That's my argument. Not acceptable, but we're going to kind of turn a blind eye based on the success of the individual. I would love to hear your thoughts about the situation. Feel free to leave it in the comment section. You can find this on iTunes, Android, and iHeartRadio. GmiasWorld. One love.